Thank you. Okay, that gets down to item B. It's the Camera Ranch Operator Agreement Ad Hoc Committee. Do we have a staff report on that?
Yes. So first of all, I want to make sure that you're all looking at the revised report, which was distributed to you via red folder. This item is at the request of the Camera Ranch Foundation. They submitted a letter to the city asking that the city form an ad hoc committee to discuss the future of the operating agreement between the city and the Camarillo Ranch. The city does have a policy that allows the mayor to appoint an ad hoc committee, and then that item is brought back to the city council for ratification. So the mayor did appoint 2 members, Charlotte Craven and Sean Molshay. And the item before you is to ratify the formation of the ad hoc committee as formed by the mayor. And I do have a comment card.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, is there any questions on this with staff? Okay, we have a comment card. Let me grab this. We have Matt Lorimer. Let me pass out this second, Matt. Let me pass this out to everyone. Just a second here, Matt. Okay. Let me make sure it's on. Yeah, it's on. Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Matt Lorimer.
Is it on?
The issues
Yeah, it's
I bring
on.
in front of you regarding the Camarillo Ranch Foundation, the Camarillo Ranch House. In front of you, you have 2 documents. The first one says out of control. I asked for this document, and I don't know why the city manager, he's been here for a number of years. Starting in 2014, we spent $118,000, 122, 129, 133, 137. We're looking at 208. So basically, the cost for the city has gone through the roof, basically. And why? I haven't seen anything. When I suggested this and I asked for this thing, it's a trending, we call it a trending report, and it's not good. The city has spent continuously from 14 to 19 more and more money in its, at the city level, and I want to know why. And I've asked for a follow-up on the detail on that, but I don't know why the city manager makes $300,000, couldn't come up with a report like this, and why the city council wasn't aware of this, but it needs to be addressed. The next thing I want to talk about is the Camarillo Ranch. You know, we had an ad hoc meeting there. In front of you, you have a copy where labor was $477,381. You also have a copy of page 47, and in there it says command performance shall conduct the meetings with the people who rent the place. They'll do the cleaning. They'll do the tear down. They'll do the deposits. So the question is, why does the CRF spend $477,381? What are they doing with their time? You guys are elected officials. This is unacceptable. They don't pay rent. So this is their own documentation they submitted. And let me remind you what happened yesterday. Devin, who's the president, one of the councilmen asked, how many people do you have? I don't know. He turned to his staff. I don't know how many people. I don't know how much money we've saved. How does a person who claims to be a representative and has skill level to run 2 organizations or his own private business not have an idea of how to read a P&L? You've not controlled any labor costs. Almost $1 million went through that ranch, and almost half of it went into labor, and he has no idea what did they do with their time. And by the way, the board came and said, we have no time, we're so busy. If command performance does the cleanup, the setup, the tear down, everything else, what does the CRF board do with its time? Nothing. They don't deal with education, they don't deal with anything. They showed up and basically had no game plan for the city council or this community, why they've been wasting tax dollars. They don't get charged rent. It's unacceptable. It's time to close the organization down. It's time to put it out to bid and allow somebody in who knows what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I do not have any other blue cards. Okay, so is there any questions of staff on this?
I would move the approval.
I'll second that, but then I want to ask a question.
Okay, there's
Oh.
a motion and a second, Mr. Tremblay.
I didn't realize it was a question.
No,
you have your microphone on? Yeah.
There, it would help if I turn on the mic. So this matter, just a question of clarification to Mr. Pierik. This item tonight is limited to consideration of appointment of the ad hoc committee. And I take it that council is, tonight anyway, is limited to just that action as described in the agenda, correct, and pursuant to the Brown Act?
Yeah, the item is as described in the agenda to address the appointment of the ad hoc committee. And that's what the agenda report says, and that's what the agenda says.
Well, we received an email earlier, or emails earlier today suggesting that we take other actions with regard to the CRF, and I guess my inquiry is whether or not that's even permissible under the Brown Act given this agenda description.
It would not be.
Okay. That concludes my questions.
Okay. There's a motion on the table and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, please vote. That passes 5-0.